What's up, guys? Brett Mix here, Mixer Madness, for a SmackDown preview for tonight's show, January the 26th, 2024, from Miami, Florida. Should be a big one. It's the go-home show to the Royal Rumble, the second biggest night of the year, arguably the second biggest night of the year. It's my favorite night of the year. Some people think the Hall of Fame is their favorite night. Some people think WrestleMania 1 or 2. The WrestleMania nights are bigger, but this is the funnest night of the year, I think, tomorrow night. But this is the go-home show one night before. They're not going to stack it with all these main eventers because they're not going to risk injury, of course. I wouldn't even have any of the main eventers in there, but tonight they have booked LA Knight to go one-on-one with Solo Sikoa. That's bad for a couple reasons. Not only do you risk injury to LA Knight, but you don't want either of these two to lose because LA Knight's got a WWE title shot. If he loses, you can't have him lose going into that shot. And Solo Sikoa, they just had him defeat John Cena, who couldn't afford a loss. So Cena finally puts over Sikoa, getting another loss. So they must have big plans for Sikoa, right? No, they don't. They have him taking simplistic RKOs and then losing matches, and he shouldn't be losing right now. And tonight lined up against LA Knight, that spells a loss. Neither guy should be losing, so I don't even care if there's interference. Like Jimmy Uso comes out and maybe goes to hit LA Knight, he ducks and he hits Sikoa, so then LA Knight gets the victory that way. I don't care how it happens. There might be interruption from Heyman and distraction, and then LA Knight gets the victory that way. I mean, LA Knight should definitely be winning, but and I think he will win. But what they're doing to Sikoa is it's pretty tragic. It shouldn't be happening this way. So that's that match. Carlito goes one-on-one with Santos Escobar. Escobar's had a lot of good heel heat since turning heel. He's had a lot of momentum. I think Escobar will go over there. We got Tatiana Chance and Kaden Carter defending their titles against Kairi Sane and Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors of Damage Control. I actually see a title change here. I see the Kabuki Warriors. I see them giving belts to the Damage Control. After Damage Control has been jobbing a lot lately, I see them. They love to 50-50 book, so I'd love to see them give it to the Kabuki Warriors, and I think they will give it to the Kabuki Warriors, the titles. I think that would be cool to see Damage Control with a lot of championships. And then they have a lot of titles, and then Bayley loses the Royal Rumble, and then they all say, okay, well, we have all the titles. Well, Bayley, what about you to continue that story? You know what I mean? That story with Bayley and the Damage Control, I could see Damage Control picking up all the belts, and then Bayley being the odd woman out, who was supposed to win the Royal Rumble, but she didn't. She came close. That's my prediction anyway. So I could see something like that happening before WrestleMania. Whether that leads to a turn or a feud for the, Bayley versus Io Sky, I don't know. But I see something like that happening with the Kabuki Warriors winning. We also have on the show Carmelo Hayes taking on Austin Theory. They tried to do that match a couple weeks ago, but they had the move went wrong. So I think they're gonna have Carmelo Hayes go over Austin Theory on that match. And then there's a face-to-face between Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits with the Final Testament. Sometimes less is more is all I want to say there. And what I mean by that is, remember Retribution? I know we've tried to all forget, but remember how bad that was and how cringeworthy that was? If you have a badass stable with all these vignettes and promos, and the WWE team can make anything look badass in promos. But when it comes time to talk on the microphone live, face-to-face, sometimes it's cringe. So instead of exposing yourself, your weaknesses, if there are any in that group, maybe they're all badass. We don't know. But if there are any weaknesses with that group, promo-wise, maybe less is more. Maybe don't say so much and just do something. Or just stand there looking tough. So you don't want to expose the weaknesses if there are any in that group. So you don't want this group to come off looking cringe before they've even started. So that's why when I saw face-to-face, I kind of worried me. I was like, oh no, maybe they're going to have them talk. And because when badass stables talk these days in WWE, it doesn't come off as good as it should, or as good as we'd all hope. So we'll see what happens with that. It should be intriguing. So they have a few things lined up for tonight's show. I just hope they handle the Solo Sikoa thing a little bit better. Maybe that match becomes a tag match with Orton and Knight versus Jimmy and Solo. We'll see what happens. I just hope they don't just have LA Knight beat him simplistically and then have Solo look that bad again. I would have Solo actually announce himself for the Rumble and talk about how, well, he's already announced himself for the Rumble, I think, but I would have him talk about how he's going to win the Rumble, similar to how Gunther did on Raw. We need another heel from SmackDown to talk about how he's going to win the Rumble. So I would have that happening, and I would have, well, I would never have the Solo Knight match going up one-on-one because they both shouldn't be losing right now, but I would have Knight win, but I would have Solo try and look strong. So we'll see what they do. As always, my SmackDown review will be here tonight, about 1 hour after the show. I keep it to about 20 to 25 minutes in length. I go over what happened with brief analysis here and there. If they add a match to the Royal Rumble, I'll obviously add that to my SmackDown prediction, or to my Royal Rumble predictions tonight on my SmackDown review. So I'll add that. But check out my Royal Rumble predictions. They're on the channel right now. Just a couple days ago I put them up, so they'd still be on the channel. Check them out. I didn't just pick the 4 matches. I picked 7 things. I predicted who was going to get thrown out last, and I predicted who was going to, in the Fatal 4-Way, who was going to take the loss. So check those Royal Rumble predictions out. And in the comment section, I'd like to hear your guys' predictions since we're so close to the Rumble and it's getting exciting. So enjoy SmackDown tonight. I'll see you back here for the review. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.